So, in this walk, we'll consider the colonial histories of Edinburgh which are embedded within the urban landscape. This will allow us to see how the built environment works to exclude groups of people who have been and continue to be affected by the legacy of slavery. Such exclusions can impact on feelings of belonging within the city. As a nation, Scotland's incredibly fast 18th century economic growth was largely funded by money made through slavery and its associated businesses. Whilst there's no doubt it was significant, the impact of slavery on the other countries of the UK didn't assume the same importance with which it did in Scotland's period of industrialisation. However, as identified by Yvonne Singh, there's a particular form of willful amnesia that's present within the Scottish population, which has removed the crucial role slavery and colonialism played from the collective national conscience. These colonial histories are very present within the city of Edinburgh, predominantly being found within the built environment in the form of statues and buildings. The city's statues immortalise many of Scotland's most influential figures, but offer an outdated version of the past. For example, one need only look at the Melville Monument and how it honours Henry Dundas to see how this is true. Indeed, questions concerning cohesion and Britishness are at the centre of contemporary politics in Britain, so it doesn't help when you have statues celebrating people who are racist and contributed towards slavery. Subsequently, questions arise concerning the role slavery continues to play, given the fact its legacy is very much present in Edinburgh. These monuments are testament to colonial injustices and impact upon feelings of belonging within the city. The value that these monuments possess hold no place in society and represent an outdated version of the past. Therefore, memorialising and honouring people who supported slavery, we are necessarily excluding those who suffer from these legacies.
We used methods in the form of photography and observational drawing, which allowed us to capture the significance of these visual reminders of colonialism within the urban landscape. It demonstrated the prominence of these statues and buildings because of their size as well as their placement, which allowed them to be in common observation for the general public. These methods also demonstrated how these places are often taken for granted and are prized on their historical connotations, but they're actually connected to colonialism, and in particular slavery, which was based on racist assumptions. This is particularly important because many times which people walk past these buildings, they are oblivious to their meaning and history. We also undertook research methods in the form of field notes to demonstrate how people interacted within this space. This is important because it demonstrates how these histories allow the creation of inclusionary as well as exclusionary space. This is of increasing relevance because of the link to Black Lives Matter protests in 2020, as well as the link to Melville Monument, which was one of our points of interest because it was previously used as a space for protest. This demonstrates how spaces can become classed, raced, and gendered, and therefore takes an intersectional stance within research to demonstrate how space has the ability to reproduce power relations which were present within the colonial period. Considering alternative methods, we also use the method of drifting to consider how colonial histories are more discrete within the landscape. This was very useful, and we found this in the form of the Royal Society of Edinburgh sign, which was also known for racial and gendered exclusions. This demonstrates how less obvious parts of the built environment contribute towards exclusion, and also demonstrated the importance of visual methods because of the ability to document these forms of power within space.
When carrying out a walk, it was important to reflect on how fieldwork is important to the making of knowledge. It's important when doing fieldwork to be there, as it's all about getting involved with what, where and who you are researching. Fieldwork, therefore, is an embodied practice and dependent on the interaction and the engagement between the researcher and the research setting. Here, whilst looking at colonial legacies within the landscape, we could use fieldwork as a way to decolonise places and knowledge. However, this did raise issues of positionality, as we had to be aware that the findings we were making were obviously linked to our unique positions within the field. This exposed the potential for power relations to exist and the privilege that comes with being the researcher. Well, this highlighted to us how the field is not just there, but produced and reproduced. And this production is dependent on who we are as researchers. Therefore, the findings we made from our walk were not objective and could not be used as knowledge in themselves, however, could be used to support theories and support bodies of knowledge.
Ethical considerations. of the modern-day relevance surrounding geographies of colonialism helped to shape the theme of the walk. With the need to use contemporary post-colonial literature and considering recent events such as Black Lives Matter to better understand the pertinence and importance of examining colonial histories in the built environment of Edinburgh. The specific significance of using decolonizing methodologies to challenge the way we think. This was implemented through the examination of imperialist power surrounding knowledge and its production. It was important to consider fieldwork as a privileged site of knowledge construction within geography, considering situated knowledge as our own positionality and reflexivity plays an active role in the production of fieldwork. Approaching the walk with an emphasis on understanding wider societal factors at play within the physical site and allowing for the exploration of all ideas and narratives surrounding colonial geographies, trying to confront dichotomies between the academic field and everyday life.